So I know, we've made a lot of hand cannon reviews in this sandbox, but let's be real, we're pretty much in a hand cannon meta. Most notably, 120 round per minute hand cannons. They are quite nasty. One of those hand cannons happens to be an Ironbender hand cannon called Crimil's Dagger. Today, guys, we're going to be going over a number of god rolls. You can still get this hand cannon by turning in tokens. It has some things about it that makes it better than even True Prophecy and Steady Hand, most notably due to its random rolls, but also some drawbacks. One thing I can say right off the bat though, Crimil's Dagger is definitely competitive and obtainable. Now, big shout outs to everyone in this video. We tested so many rolls, 5 altogether, Shadow, Knight, as well as Kirk. Thank you guys so much for allowing us to play with your rolls. These are the random rolls though, before we get into what we played with. And if you notice right off the bat, yes, that's right, this bad baby comes with kill clip. We have a few other 120s that also come with kill clip, but guess what? They're all sunset. Duke, bad news. Hell, even Warden's Law came with kill clip. However, in this current sandbox of 120 round per minute hand cannons that are present, none of them roll with kill clip. Now, the rolls you're going to be seeing us testing out today is a combination of both very lethal rolls in regards to say things like kill clip outlaw. Most 120s have pretty abysmal reload speeds, so I found outlaw to be pretty nice, although after playing with a few other kill clip rolls, not necessary. Here's actually one of my favorite rolls we got to play with on controller. Moving target kill clip. We even combined it with a targeting adjuster mod. This was a very sticky roll. Probably the stickiest out of all of them. On top of that, moving target combined with things like crossfire, I mean, you're just upping that aim assist substantially. Stat-wise, Crimil's Dagger isn't the best, but it's rolls like these that gives it a fighting chance. And I will say for controller users, Crimil's actually felt pretty good. I've noted before that even things like Steady Hand, True Prophecy, with its recoil changes from Shadowkeep to Beyond Light, it just felt off. Although after spending much time with them, I've just adjusted to them. But on mouse and keyboard. Controller, it's still kind of crazy, right? Like you'll still feel your hand cannon just jump all over the place. Crimil's Dagger actually feels very similar to how it felt pre-Beyond Light. And for controller users, I actually think Crimil's Dagger might be the best legendary 120, especially with rolls like these. Now, moving on to a few other rolls, we did try some explosive payload and timed payload. And I'm having a difficult time really nailing down which one of these I like more. Timed payload has a delay in its explosion, whereas explosive payload immediately detonates. My take on this, I actually think explosive payload will mess up the majority of players outside of top tier PvP players. Like you'll still mess them up, but because of the cadence of time payload with that delayed, I have found that time payload actually seems to mess with higher skilled PvP players due to the fact that the weapon itself already does initial flinch, and then of course the payload perk does secondary flinch in between your shots. And considering that 120 round per minute hand cannons does have a delay there, considering its slow rate of fire, having something to offer that staggered flinch might save you. And it has saved me many times inside of trials with True Prophecy. So yeah, I know time payload is not like a recommended perk on Light GG, but I still prefer it over explosive payload. Now, a comment that has come up, Rangefinder or no Rangefinder. Here's the thing, guys. Rangefinder does stack on close to 4 meters, completely free on your hand cannon. You may still want to go moving target on controller for that extra stickiness, but for mouse and keyboard users, I like Rangefinder. I mean, we're talking 46, 47 meters. Is it a little bit overkill? Yes, but that's exactly why you're using these hand cannons. They're scout cannons. They're literally dueling in scout rifle territory. I think Rangefinder is an excellent trait here, and I could tell a difference going from the outlaw moving target rolls to our Rangefinder rolls. I just felt like overall the weapon felt better when it came to hit registration. Now, granted, up close, understand, with that increase in zoom, if you got enemies right on top of you, it might be more difficult for you to land shots. That's the thing. It increases the zoom. So your field of view is kicked forward. But considering this is a 120 round per minute hand cannon, it's got a 1 second time to kill, which is not exactly like optimal. How you should be using this hand cannon is at great ranges. And there was times that when I had people right outside of my range, when I wasn't using Rangefinder, I was leaving folks one shot. So hands down for mouse and keyboard players, and even for controller players, if you can adjust to it, I think Rangefinder is still an excellent trait. Now let's talk kill clip a little more in depth, because I actually prefer Rampage Rampage on 120s inside a 6v6. But Kill Clip does offer a little more flexibility there when it comes to timing that increase there in damage. It kicks our damage up to 120 per crit and 67 per body. Technically speaking, it can 1 crit 1 body Guardians, roughly around 2 resilience or less. Probably some rounding, so let's just be safe about it, 1 resilience or less. A lot of Guardians in this sandbox are rocking higher resilience. We've preached about it a number of times, but occasionally you will catch people that are rocking lower resilience, thus allowing you to take advantage of that 1 crit 1 body combo. To secure the kill though, on most Guardians, you will need to land 2 crits. And even though 120 per crit is overkill, it's appreciated at great ranges, especially when you combine it with something like Rangefinder. You got folks that are sitting right outside of range. Damage fall off is applying. Instead of the damage being 120 per crit, it knocks down to say like 100 per crit. Boom. You're still securing the kill into crits at incredible ranges in 0.5 seconds. It catches a lot of Guardians off balance, and that 2-tap on all 120s is extremely deadly. Even though I do still prefer Rampage in high intensity moments when there's a lot of opponents collapsing on you, I think Kill Clip might be a superior trait for say things like Trials. You peek out of cover, you land a kill, you're reloading while still in cover, and then you re-peek with Kill Clip. Whereas something like Rampage, you gotta immediately just be going, right? You got the kill. Oh my God. You got 3.5 seconds to get another kill. Now, final notes, I'm gonna have some people ask, what about opening shots in Zen moments? Look, if you want a very stable weapon, like if you want a 120 to just be the most stable and simultaneously handle wonderfully, then Steady Hand is your friend. That's the hand cannon you need to go for. This is the hand cannon to go for lethality. Steady Hand can roll things like Iron Grip alongside Quick Draw. And then on the other side of things, for like just purely consistency, you've got True Prophecy, which can roll things like Opening Shot and a Payload perk together, which is nuts. But something to remember about Payload perks, because it is a projectile, technically. I honestly think that Payload perks, whether Explosive Payload or Time Payload, already comes with some level of opening shot accuracy. They just feel better. They make contact, they hit. I've mentioned it before in the past. Thorn back in Destiny 1 did the same thing. We had terrible Bloom on hand cannons, but you still had folks using Thorn. And that's because Thorn literally shot thorns out of the hand cannon. It was a real projectile. The same thing is applying here, at least from my experience with Payload perks, meaning I don't think opening shot is necessary. I think Explosive Payload or Time Payload are much better traits here to use over opening shot, even though I love opening shot. It is such a good trait. I'm just telling you, Payload seems to be serving some levels of consistency, maybe not matching that 1-to-1 to opening shot, but close enough. On top of that, the AoE damage that Payload perks does is really, really nice. You got somebody sitting behind cover, boom, pop a few shots off next to them. You might be able to even drive them out of that area due to the Payload damage. So guys, that is my thoughts on Crimil's Dagger. Stat-wise, this weapon is similar in a lot of ways to True Prophecy and Steady Hand. The difference maker is just simply in the rolls. The fact that this weapon can roll with things like Kill Clip really sets it apart, on top of things like Kill Clip and Rangefinder together. I would suggest anyone farming for Crimil's Daggers to lock down 2 sets of rolls, or I guess 3. One for just being purely lethal, say Outlaw Kill Clip inside of PvE, or even inside of PvP. Maybe even a nutty roll, Rangefinder Kill Clip, Moving Target Kill Clip, depending on if you're a controller or mouse and keyboard player, and then just one purely for dealing with 1v1s. Explosive Payload, and preferably Time Payload. And I really like Time Payload Rangefinder, or even Time Payload Moving Target. I'll say the biggest drawback to this weapon is that magazine size is poopy, 7 in the mag, which may actually push you to move toward a magazine perk over say something like accurized rounds. I will say it's not that big of a deal if you're using a kill clip roll. Like, it really doesn't matter. Once you secure the kill anyways, you're gonna reload. Magazine size really plays a role on rampage roll weapons, where you're trying to change kill to kill. On this one though, considering you're going to be reloading a bunch, I think you'll be just fine. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.